Hello and welcome to another Real World Stories session. I'm Samir Bhangar from the PowerCat team at Microsoft. Today I'd like to introduce Justin Bailey and Chris Jakes from Western States Caterpillar to talk about their journey with Power Apps and the Power Platform. Justin, could you share a bit about Western States Caterpillar and your team?
Yeah, for sure. Justin Bailey, I'm the Director of Strategy and BI at Western States Equipment. Western States Equipment Company is an authorized Caterpillar dealer. We've got 17 branches in the mountain region, so Wyoming, Montana, Oregon, Washington, and Idaho. We've been in business 65 years just this February, and we have a long tradition of service, innovation, and leadership here in the construction industry. We also serve forestry, dairy, railroad, mining, and healthcare industries. And we've got 900 employees that help us do it. And, we distribute parts, do service work on machines, sell new and used equipment, and provide power generation for the industries within our territory.
Thanks, Justin. So, Chris, would you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Chris Jakes. I'm a senior application developer for Western States Equipment. I've worked actually in the IT department of Western States Equipment since about 2005, seen the evolution of using AS400 and now through Dynamics 2012 and hopefully in the future seeing Dynamics 365.
That's great. So, what's your journey been like as you've been adopting the Power Platform in your organization?
Yeah, Samir, our journey started 3 years ago, or a little longer than that, actually. I went to Redmond, was fortunate to go and with a bunch of other CAT dealers to see what Microsoft had to offer for CAT dealers. And obviously, the Power Platform or Power BI and Power Apps were a part of that. James Phillips gave a presentation on business applications. And so, when I was there, I was more of in the operations world, and I was a citizen developer, if you will, using Excel quite a bit. And couldn't wait to get my hands on it. Went back to the dealership and worked on creating some Power BI reports with Excel as a data source, and then really dove into Power Apps and started to see how we could use Power Apps as a quick and easy way to get an app in front of our folks in the field to be able to allow them to look at inventory availability and those kinds of things. So worked with, actually, Chris was in a different department at the time. And so I kept bugging him to teach me how to, do SQL and do direct queries into AX. And then we had a gateway set up, and, that was kind of the beginning of our journey. And then as that evolved, they kind of, the business said, hey, this is great. You should do this for the whole business. And we became the BI Solutions team. So myself and Chris and a couple other developers are a part of that BI Solutions team here at Western States.
So do you have some of these solutions that you could show us?
Yeah, let's see. We can show our Return to Ready app. Actually, it's our first app where we kind of implemented our low-code pro-dev combination. Basically, what it is, it's an application that creates events for the rental return team so that they can capture all the timestamps that aren't present in our ERP. Basically, what it does is our ERP will initiate an event, and then based off of that event, they'll log in and it'll present them with the next steps. They have a list of active events that they click on. Each time they click on one, it'll present them with the items that they need to return. And then when they click on the item, it'll then present them with all the requirements for that item that needs to be done. This is generally pictures or statistics, but it can be anything that we set it up for. For taking pictures, generally what that's for is so that they can take pictures of the state as it came back or as it's going out. So they can take multiple pictures and highlight any issues or things, just similar to when you have a rental car. Also at that time, they can indicate damage. So the damage will actually create an alert and a whole nother event for a different user role to accomplish the task there for service work or whatever. They'll enter in statistics similar to odometer readings and fuel, and any other notes that they want to put on there at the time. Once they're done with the item, it moves on to the next item. And then after that final item, it completes the event, which then completes another event in the chain for the next person. And then it's like less than a minute for them to do a turnaround of that. And it captures all the timestamps.
Thanks, Chris, for that. So, Justin, you've talked about citizen development from your perspective. Chris talked about him coming in as a professional developer, adopting these tools and platform. Could you share a bit more about how do you see all of this fitting together, as well as your partnership with the business?
Well, Samir, we have a unique relationship at Western States. So we are part of the strategy and BI team. So we actually are tied directly to the business. And as an example, what we, when we rolled Return to Ready out with the business, we were actually, Chris and I were in the store coding, in place in the store as we got feedback from users. And really the partnership has been critical to us to get these apps out and get them done correctly. If we did it any other way, if we just developed a solution and then sent it to them, I don't think it would have worked. So, I mean, to the extent of I was in a truck, a CRS delivery truck, riding with drivers, getting feedback from them as they would use the app in the field. So that was critical. And, one of the things that's really been successful for us at Western State BI Solutions and what we're trying to do is really tying us back to our corporate strategy and really getting an idea of where we're going as a company and being able to anticipate that so we can build out the architecture we need from a data or API perspective. So it's been, our partnership with the business has been so critical to our success, and it's gone great so far.
Justin, so could you share with us some other solutions that your team is working on?
Yeah, one of the ones where actually just kind of was born out of the Return to Ready app. We had a customer app or a CRM app from in the past, but we really wanted to really blow it up and do it better than we had. And part of that was using the ProDev with some API connections and how we feed that. So we have our app called Client Connect. And in Client Connect, our folks in the field have the ability to see prospects, and they can do a lot of different things like see my prospects, my opportunities. They can go and look at the opportunities they have coming forward. They can see my leads. In my leads, they can go ahead and see what they have out there. They can also look at activities that they've done in the field, and supervisors can impersonate their team and see what the app through the view of their team. So we've got that feature in as well, so they can see their team's activities. Another thing they can do is you can go into the prospect view there. You can also create a prospect, which is great because we use the business card reader through the AI builder to be able to pull in a business card and pull the data in dynamically. So once they get into a prospect view, we're going to take a look at Vandelay Industries here. When you look at that prospect, part of what we want to do is get the data real time in front of the people in the field so they know and they can do their pre-call plan and they know what their is that in front of them. And we've tied Power BI reporting into it so they can see some visualizations. We've also got their sales transaction timelines, kind of shows the history of what we've done with that client, as well as we can see their equipment pop. In the equipment world, equipment is king for us. So obviously we want to see what's going on with equipment. And in that equipment, we can see our open service items. We can see our open agreements. So that would include warranty, any contracts we have to provide parts. We can see a lot of general info on the machine, year, and that kind of thing. We can also see scheduled services that we have out in the future, the configuration of the machine. And then, really one of the last things we're working on that kind of highlights the ProDev approach is we're working on an API with an auction house to provide real-time auction evaluation. So as we look at trade pricing or as we look at other types of things that the customer might ask, we can give them some idea of what their machine might be worth today out at auction. Yeah, and lastly, one of the things that we really want to be able to do is we provide GPS mapping to the equipment. So, our field techs or our sales reps can find the machines out in the field. So it's been working great, and it's a really great tool for our field folks. We're testing it right now. When we think about working with the business, we're in beta test right now, and we're getting tons of feedback every day from them.
This is awesome. So you've kind of led us through your journey. You've shown us a couple of really great examples. As we come to the end of our time over here, Chris, you mentioned that you have a pro code background developing full stack applications, perhaps in Visual Studio and other full stack tools. Could you share a bit more about what it's been like adopting a low code tool set as part of your journey?
Absolutely. Actually, as Justin mentioned, moving into the CRM, the Client Connect app that he just described, the really cool thing about that on the back end or the ProDev side is that all of the functionality is presented to Power Apps via ASP.NET Core Web API. So we're able to handle all the business rules and everything in a ProDev capacity using Visual Studio with source control and everything. And that's presented to the application or the Power App with drag and drop tools that make it really easy to consume the data and write data back. And even as Justin said, to make opportunities, to grab GPS locations, and even to wire in a vendor API like the Auction House API, with the pro tools and our tools that we're using, we can do that very quickly. And Power Apps just lets us take that last mile really quickly with Justin's help.
Awesome. So Justin, over to you perhaps for, as you step back, and where do you see all of this going next from your perspective?
Well, we're really excited about where we're going with, our journey with the Power Platform. And really, we're about to take on a conversion of 365 from Dynamics 2012 and, getting in the Dataverse and kind of going to that next level is so exciting for us because we know it just opens more possibilities of where we can go with the Power Platform. And, the thing that we're really excited about is the development and the attention that Microsoft is giving to the Power Platform to develop tools like the AI Builder and other kind of tools there in the pipeline to help us really plug and play solutions that we can then deliver quickly to the field. And that's really been, when you've got a team of 5 folks that are trying to develop, applications and get them out for a very large business, that's key. That's been key for us to be able to spin those applications out and get them out to the business quickly. And that's what keeps us going and keeps us excited about where we're at on the Power Platform.
And Justin, as we were speaking earlier, you mentioned how the team in this current form didn't even exist some time back, right? Could you share a bit more about that?
Yeah, the funny part, and I remember when we talked about earlier, when I built some solutions and we took them to the business, said, "Hey, I need the IT department to do this," and they looked at me and said, "No, we think you should get some developers and lead a team to do this." And we turned into the BI solutions team. And then from there, over the past 3 years, we've just grown and grown and grown, and we've seen 100,000 hits on our Power BI reports and 20% growth year over year. And that on both the Power BI side and the app side. And it's really evolved. And now we are closely tied. We are in our own kind of group, the strategy and BI group, tied to the executive team that we're using to be able to basically turn data into insight through either Power Apps or Power BI and using the Power Platform. So it's been really exciting. We're kind of in this interesting hybrid model. And I think it's been great for all of us. And it's exciting. And I just can't wait to continue the journey.
Okay, so thanks again for taking the time. It's been really fun to spend these last few minutes learning about your journey and the applications you've built and all the wonderful impact it's had. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.